Welcome to our 5 on 5. We're pleased to welcome back Senator Ron Wyden. Senator, good to see you again. How are you?
Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's talk about anyone who knows much about Vietnam knows the words, the phrase Agent Orange. What's going on with that right now?
Right now, in particular, we're trying to make sure that our vets who got exposed to Agent Orange stateside, in other words, they were in planes that had been in Vietnam, there's residue of Agent Orange, this very dangerous herbicide. We want to make sure that they can get good quality health care at the VA. It just seems to me, and I think Southern Oregon in particular, got this message long ago that when the vets honor us by wearing the uniform of the United States, we have got to be there with good health care for them, and I'm making sure that that's arranged.
Okay, and another piece of legislation that you're working on with a number of colleagues, including Senator Merkley, to improve the safety of oil transport by train. Now, what specific improvements are you looking for?
The reason this is so important is the amount of oil being transported by train in Oregon has quadrupled in the last few years. This is really as a result of the huge revolution, of course, in the Dakotas and the Bakkens. And what we need to do is create a disincentive for these unsafe cars to be out on the rails and an incentive to go to the more modern cars. So that's what I am proposing. It's a market-oriented approach where you have a fee on these cars, and it comes to something like a fraction of what it costs to get a good ticket to a Madonna concert. So I think it seems to me that's reasonable from a safety standpoint, and I think we're going to get a lot of support in the Senate for it.
All right, interesting. So you're right now taking a lot of heat from opponents on the so-called fast-track legislation that would allow the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a 12-nation trade pact, to be signed by the president and then sent to Congress without allowing a vote for amendments. Now, why shouldn't people be concerned about this?
Well, first of all, this approach is going to involve unprecedented transparency. For example, I thought that critics were right about the fact that there was too much secrecy in the past. And if you believe in trade as I do, and you want more of it, you should want to get rid of all this secrecy that's unnecessary. So I got included in the package. It was agreed to by Senator Hatch, by President Obama. We're going to, by law, make sure that the public gets to see it 60 days before the president even signs it, and then probably another 2 months afterwards. So what that will mean for Oregonians, if they come to one of my town hall meetings, they will in effect be able to sit with a copy of this in their lap for about 4 months before the United States Senate actually votes on it. Seems to me that's an added measure of accountability, and it's long overdue.
All right, well, I certainly have some more questions about this legislation. First, we're going to take a quick break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Senator Ron Wyden. We've been talking about the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a very big trade deal. Senator, I understand the president's coming out here later this week.
He is, and obviously he wants to stress why this is so important for Oregon because, of course, we have a leg up on everybody else with respect to Asia. But the bottom line for me, Craig, is there are going to be 1 billion middle-class consumers in the developing world by 2025. Now, that means there are going to be a lot of people with income and money to spend. And I look at the products in Southern Oregon where we've got a lot of fruit, we got wine and pears, companies that make environmental monitoring equipment, helicopters, a whole lot of different products that I think we ought to make sure that Oregon and the Oregon brand gets into the developing world. Okay,
now there has been some concern that the TPP, as it's now being set, will roll back protections for the environment, for consumers, or for workers. Is that?
That is not true, and I appreciate your asking about it because I have been able to add provisions ensuring that American sovereignty is intact. What that means is no law or any regulation can be rolled back by, say, this special tribunal, what are called the investor state tribunals.
It's fascinating to see some of the people who are on different sides of this. You know, you have the president, obviously, for this, but Congressman Peter DeFazio is holding a rally today in Eugene against this fast-track trade. Senators Harry Reid, Chuck Schumer are against it. What does it say to you that your own Democratic colleagues are feeling this way about it?
Well, certainly you're not going to see any kumbaya moment here. There are strong differences, but I continue to believe that the central economic question is how are you going to get wages up, and particularly for the middle class. One of the best ways to do that is through exports, because the export jobs often pay better than do the non-export jobs. So in effect, this is a path to what I think is one of the biggest economic concerns in Southern Oregon across our state. And I just look at the future of the Oregon economy, and when you have exports, you have a high level of productivity, you have value added in those goods. We got to make sure we get those markets.
Very good, Senator.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Stay with us. We'll be right back.